Everyone, let's try to solve some LeetCode today. So today we have this LeetCode 70, that is climbing stairs problem. This problem is quite easy because it is termed as easy category. So the reason we are trying to solve this problem is to understand how to really think, how to really make patterns when you actually encounter a new problem. Since this is a very specific problem, it's a very focused problem. It does not have too many moving parts here and there. We can actually focus on understanding how to build patterns. So now let's read the description here. You are climbing a staircase. It takes n steps to reach the top. Okay, got it? Each time you can either climb one or two steps. In how many distinct ways you can climb the top? Okay, so we basically have to figure out the distinct ways, not the duplicate ways, the distinct ways to climb to the top. Here we have a few examples like n is equals to 2, then we have output is 2. Why? Because what we can do is we can take one step on two steps, or we can directly take two steps from the first step and reach to the top, right? Let's try to visually understand. Suppose we have two steps, 1, 2, and this is basically the top. You have to reach here and you are standing here at the bottom. So what you can do right now is you can either take one step here and then one step here and reach the top, or you can simply directly take two steps to reach the top. Simple, right? So how many ways do we have? 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. Great. So this is basically what the problem is asking you. Now this problem will become really simple for you if you understand the Fibonacci series, because that is literally the solution of this problem. But what if you don't? What if you never knew that there is something called Fibonacci series, right? So that is the thing, guys. These questions are designed in mind such that people will be able to figure out patterns and they don't have to have some kind of prior knowledge of mathematics or something like that. So when you don't really have initial knowledge, what you really need to do is you need to figure out the patterns. And how do you figure out patterns? By taking a few examples. We can consider this as the example number 1. Now let's try to take another example, that is n is equals to 3. Steps are 3 now. And this is the top. Simple. Now what I can do at this point is I can take one step here, one step here, one step here. So I will have one way of doing this, right? Then what I can do is I can take two steps directly here and then one step here. Then this is also one way to do this, right? This is one way and this is one way. This is not like the steps, okay? This is just ways. Now the other thing I can do is I can take one step here and I will reach here, and then I can directly take two steps here and I will reach the top. So I have another way of doing it, right? I have another way of doing it. So total all, I have three ways of doing it, right? Got it? So we have two here, we have three here. We are kind of seeing a pattern. Maybe we just have to add one each time, but we are not sure yet. So let's try to take another example. Let's take n is equals to 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the top. So what I can do is I can take 1, 1, 1, and 1. So 4 steps, single, single. I have one way of reaching the top now. What I can do is I can take two steps here. I can two steps, then two steps. Simple. There is also again one way of doing it, right? What I can do is I can take one step here, then two steps here, then again one step here. I have another way of doing it, right? What I can do is I can take what? Two steps here, then I can take one step on this step and one step on this step. I have another one way of doing it, right? Correct? I can take one step here, one step on this one, and then I can take directly two steps. Then I again have one way of doing it. Is there any other way of doing it? Hmm? I am not really able to see this. So what I can say is that we have 5 here. We have answer as 5. Now let's try to do the same thing for 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have, and this is the top. I have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Right? I have this way of doing it. So I can say one way of doing it I figured out. Then what I can do is I can take one step here, two steps here, and then two steps here. I have one more way of doing it, right? Then what I can do is I can take another steps. Then I can also take two steps here, then two steps here, then one step here, right? So I have another way of doing it. Then what I can do is I can do two steps here, then one step here, one step here, one step here. Again, one more way of doing it, right? Now I can take one step here, then one step here, and then two steps here. Another way of doing it, we have 5 ways till now. Now what we can do is we can take one step here, two steps here, and one steps here. We have another way of doing it now. So we have how many ways? 6 ways till now. Now what I can try to do is I can take one step here, two steps here, then one step here, then one step here. There is one more way now to reach the top. Otherwise, what I can do is I can take two steps here, then one step on this one, then again two steps here, and then I will reach the top again. So I don't really see any other way of doing it. So till now we have 1 plus 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 1, that is equals to like 8. So now we do have some kind of pattern, right? At this point we can try to see some pattern. So first we had like the answer was 2, then 3, then 5, then 8. Let's try to write it. Now there are two more conditions to understand here. If you have only 0 steps, then there is 0 ways to reach the top, right? So you can start by 0. If there is like one step, right? So you only have one way to reach the top, right? If you have two steps, then it comes down to this part. So now here what you can see is you can see something like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, right? So let's just ignore the 0 for now because it simply doesn't matter at this point. So here what we have some kind of number series, correct? It will go on and there needs to be some kind of pattern. So how do we figure out? We can try to make some assumptions, right? Maybe we are adding 1 each time. So 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3. But here on 3 to 5, the assumptions break because we are adding 2 here, right? The difference is 2 between them. So what is another assumption? Well, we can also notice that 1 plus 2 is equals to 3, correct? Similarly, 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. Similarly, 3 plus 5 is equals to 8. So this pattern seems to be working. So this can actually be our solution. And this is literally the solution. This is the Fibonacci series. What happens in a Fibonacci series is that previous two elements is equals to next number. Or you can say that the nth number is equals to n minus 1 number plus n minus 2 number. This is index. It means what I need to say is that we have this 5, right? This is the fifth index. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so on the fifth index we have 8. And this 8 is matching this definition, right? So what I can do is I can simply write a while loop or a for loop that keeps on adding previous two numbers to get the next number. All I have to do in order to reach 5 is I have to just have two initial numbers, that is 1 and 2, I believe. Then I can start from the third index. The while loop should start from the third index, or the for loop should start from third index, and I can keep on adding previous two index. So third index will be equals to 1 plus 2, right? Then the fourth index is equals to 2 plus third index value, that is 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. Fifth index is equals to what? Is equals to 3. Third index plus fourth index value, right, is equals to what? 3 plus fourth index value, that is 5, is equals to 8. Similarly, we can figure out the answer for the rest of these steps. So here I have written the code. Here I am first of all making sure that all the base conditions are satisfied. So if n is less than 2, that is n is 1, then it will simply return 1. There is only one way of reaching the top. Otherwise, what we are doing is we are initializing with int a is equals to 1, int b is equals to 1. And what we are doing is nth number will be 0. Then we are taking an index because we are using while loop right now here. So what I'm saying is that while the I is less than n, the nth number will be a plus b. A will turn to b and b will turn to nth number, and then I plus plus. And at the end we will simply return the nth number. Simple. Now you might be asking why I'm using int a is equals to 1 and int b is equals to 1. Well, if you think about it, if n is equals to 2, what is 2? 2 is simply 1 plus 1. So what I can say is that there will be two numbers a and b whose summation will become 2. Simple. So I'm just taking this as an initial condition. In the code, I'm starting the loop from I is equals to 1 by taking this. If I start the loop from I is equals to 2, then what I can do is I can simply take a is equals to 1, b is equals to 2. Simple as that, and it will still work. I think this is what we have discussed in the example, so I will stick to this I will not use 1 and 1. Yeah, this is what we discussed here, 1 and 2. So I will stick to this one. We will start the loop from I is equals to 2. We will just keep on running the loop while we get the answer. So we get a wrong answer, and that is because we changed the code. Okay. So now we again have a base condition. If n double is equals to 2, we have to return 2. That is why I actually used 1 and 1, because the base condition will simply decrease. If I try to run it again, now it is accepted. Now it's working. So if we submit it, this is working just fine. And yeah, beats the 100% mark. Usually don't trust it, but it's a good number, right? So now if you have some problem that you would like me to solve, then just comment, and now we will meet in the next video. Bye.